Time now for another edition of Coach's Corner here on Crusaders TV. I'm Taylor Medak, and I'm joined by Crusaders head coach Adam Manah. Of course, this is presented to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Adam, thanks a lot for joining us here. Quarter way through the year, a little past it. You're 7-10 on the year. Obviously, a spot where I'm sure you guys don't want to be in, but it's a long season, and hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Your assessment, I guess, of the first 15 to 17 games.
Well, we've talked about it right from the get-go. Our inconsistency has been, obviously a concern, and we want to make sure that we fix that area. And to be honest, the last 5 or 6 games minus the Drayton Valley game on Saturday, there we've been playing a pretty good team game. Much better than we were, in the first 10 games. So things have progressively started to improve, but again, it's not showing in our record and the results, but we're hoping that that's going to turn around, and once we get healthy here, hopefully that'll fix some things, and we'll get going.
Yeah, and tough to get consistency when you have a revolving lineup and different guys being plugged into different holes and new guys coming to the team. Do you find that maybe some games it's certain guys are bringing their game and playing good games, whereas some aren't, and then another game it might be someone else that was not bringing their game the one before, whereas it's just almost a smorgasbord of who brings their game on a given night?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Tyler Malpe's been great for us, and he's probably been our most consistent guy, along with Alex Rotundo. And Alex has been out with a concussion for the last couple of weeks, so we missed him. And and then like you mentioned, Zaharchuk was out from game one for roughly about a month, and so we were missing him. And then Youngins was out as well. So, there's definitely no excuses. Every team goes through it. We get that. But it definitely hurts your lineup when you have different guys playing with, different combos all the time, and you're trying to just make it work when one guy falls out, and you gotta replace him and play guys in different roles. So, at one point we had 2D playing up front because we were so thin up front with our forward core. So, again, just trying to balance it and get our guys to continue to just plug away, and our guys have done a good job of that, and there's been no excuses, and they know what we have to do to get back above 500 and get going, continuing to climb the ladder.
I'll ask you about Tyler Malpe, league's lead in goals again, and with 16 heading into this week. Are you seeing anything different from Tyler's game that wasn't there last year, or is it just the same old Malpe that is just proving that he's a guy that probably should be almost at the next level?
Well, to be honest, Tyler has done everything we've asked of him. He's been phenomenal. He's been a good leader off and on the ice. He's got the 16 goals, obviously, which we expected. But the biggest thing, that Tyler and I joked about the other day was, he hasn't been taking the penalties that he maybe was last year or in years past, and that's something that we've really worked on him with. And I think he's only got 28 PIMs in 17 games, which is less than 2 per game, and that's impressive for being a big guy on the ice and playing the way he does. So credit to him on the PIM side, and then again his whole overall game has been much improved. And again, we talked about the college, going to college next year, and he he said maybe it's been a blessing in disguise that I've come back and just been able to work at my game and work at things that I still needed to work on, and that way he's that much more prepared going into next season when he does get to college.
And a lot of bright spots up front. The likes of Matt Dykstra playing a lot. Ty Reedman was Player of the Week a week ago, and then Tanner Youngin's a guy that you brought in. Where do you sit in terms of the forward group? Are you happy with the performance that you guys put out so far, even though you're only at 7 wins?
Yeah, we think so. What we have to really do is just prevent goals from going in the back of our net. That's our biggest thing right now is just trying to limit those goals against, and we're working on that. But in terms of the offensive side, we're scoring about 3.5 goals per game, which more times than not hopefully will win you games, but it won't every time. But from our forward core, we'd like to see him maybe be a little bit more selfish when we get those scoring chances. We like to think pass first, maybe rather than shoot. So minus maybe a few guys like Malpe, who's got 16, right? But the rest of the guys are kind of funneled in between, where they have, in the range of 3 to 7 goals on the year, and whereas they could probably have upwards of 10 if they maybe just shot the puck a little bit more and bared down, or just again simplified and shot instead of pass. So Overall, yeah. From our forward perspective, we're doing a lot of good things, and again, we haven't had that full forward lineup together. Number one, and number two, again, give credit to our two defensemen that have played up front as well. It hasn't been for just a game or two; it's been for 8 or 9 or 10 games that they've been playing consistently up front. So that isn't easy to do, but give credit to their character, and they haven't complained at all. They want to help the team.
You mentioned the goals against. Unfortunately, I will bring it up, but division worst, 75 goals against heading into this week. How do you guys tighten that up? How do you shore that up? What are some things you guys need to do going forward?
Well, we feel that our goaltending needs to be better for us. We're not giving up a ton of quality scoring chances per night. In the first 10 games we were. Not on a consistent basis, but there were games where you were like, "Whoa, that's too many chances to give up." And but now we're limiting teams to 10 chances or less per game, or somewhere in that range, and we're out chancing teams. So on the flip side, we have to score offensively on our chances, and then on the other side, we have to make sure that if they only get 6 chances a night, they can't score 4 of them. So we have to make sure that we limit our, blatant mistakes that we're making, and then on the other side of that, our goaltenders have to come in and do their part and make sure that they bail us out every once in a while and get us that save that we need, so that our guys gain confidence in them, and then we know that they're shutting the door if we do give up one of those chances.
You guys brought in Zach Diamond last year to push Zach Klassen. Kind of the same thing this year with bringing in Jake Morrissey, second, tenure with the hockey team is with you guys for a bit last year, but it didn't go too well for Jake on his first game Saturday. But do you feel that Jake Morrissey's the guy to push Zach Klassen to make him better, like we saw last year with Zach Diamond?
Yeah, for sure. Jake's been really good so far since coming in. He really hadn't played a ton. He told us that right when he got in, that he hasn't really played since last year. So it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for him, and he's worked hard at practice, and yeah, the Drayton game didn't go exactly his way, but he was the first to say it, that he wasn't great, and that shows accountability, right? And so he's taken it upon himself to continue to work hard this week of practice so that he's ready for the weekend, and we fully expect him to push Zach and then have a tandem that we can move forward with.
Well, let's look ahead to the upcoming games here as we near the end of the calendar year. And this weekend, an exciting one. Camrose, you travel there Friday. And then an exciting one Sunday in Fort Saskatchewan against Lloydminster, neutral site game. Little maybe special for you as well, heading back to the JRC as you're a former trader. But just this weekend, what's going to be the focus for you guys?
Well, Friday in Camrose, we know they work extremely hard. That's what Boris's teams do. So, we've had our hands full with them all the way through exhibition. They've had our numbers, so we have to come ready to go and make sure that we're ready to match that work ethic, number one. And number two, again, we have to continue to stress that defense wins and that we have to bear down on our scoring opportunities. And Sunday against Lloyd's been playing better hockey as of late, and we knew they would. They're young, and they're going to continue to get better as they go. So, we expect a tough game there in Fort Sask, and like you said, it's going to be exciting. I played 1 year for the Traders, and it's a great hockey community, and it's going to be exciting for us to go play at the JRC, which is a classic barn, and it's a good spot to play. So all the way around, it's going to be a fun weekend, and it's going to be exciting, and I think we're looking forward to it.
And you look at the month ahead. You get a lot of games here at the Sherwood Park Arena against some good opponents. A good chance to pick up some wins on home ice, a building that you've been very good at, the group has the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think we have eight home games in the back half of November, so 8 out of 11 of our games in November is going to be at home, and we need to use that to our advantage. There's no question. We have to, we've been getting good crowds this year, and that's credit to, our marketing man, Spencer, but we want the fans to come and support this hockey team, and we've been getting out lots in the community. So, for us, use the home ice to our advantage, and we have to, make up some ground and pick up some points, that are needed.
All right, Adam, thanks a lot for taking the time here to join us a quarter way through the Alberta Junior Hockey League season here in 2016-17. We'll touch base halfway for another Coach's Corner. Thanks a lot and good luck.
Thanks, Spence. Appreciate it.